What's up everyone, it's Ruby here, bringing you guys another video. Today we're going to be talking about Hogwarts Legacy and giving my official review for the game. Because I just finished playing the main story and I have a lot of thoughts on the game. So let's just get right into it. First of all, the game is surprisingly good. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, and it's a lot better than I thought it would be. I don't know what I was anticipating when I heard a Harry Potter open world game, but this blew my expectations out of the water. I liked that they focused on bringing the books to the games and not thinking about adapting the movies at all. In fact, the models and everything, the characters were all based off of the books, not the movies. So there was no resemblance to the movies, but you could tell, if you ever read the books, you could tell what it was being based off of. Their characters that were never in the movies, and it just showed a really great appreciation to the world of Harry Potter. I'll also say that the game is a lot harder than you would think it would be. It's not insanely hard, but it's hard enough where it almost feels at times like a Souls-like game. But even more than that, the game goes beyond the main story. Okay? Because what people don't realize is the main story isn't really the most important part of the Harry Potter world. Yes, it's good for that it exists and it needs to be compelling for the main audience. But for most people, when they look at Harry Potter, they're not worried about the main story. They're worried about everything else. The classes, Quidditch, the extracurricular activities, the pranks, the being able to choose your wand, being able to go shopping, being able to care for creatures and mythical beings. And this game really does capture that essence. It's not about really the main story, it's about everything else in between. You can spend 70 hours without even having to play the main quest. At least not really. In fact, you can postpone the main quest for as long as you want, because there's no reason to not do that. And the fact that there's a lot of attention to detail without going out of their way to advertise or show everything that they've truly done with this game is they're not using these things for the views. They're using it to just show it just happens to have such things, and it's really good. I think one of the best parts is that it's easily accessible, and I think one of the big things to acknowledge is that it cares a lot about the player. There's so much attention to detail, and the fact that it starts out with having read aloud text on, so that vision impaired people don't have to rely on their friend to find the settings. They can just read. It's already on. That should be a default setting for every game going forward, because we should normalize accessibility being accessible from the very start. You don't have to go through the settings and try to figure out where the accessibility settings are, because what's the point of accessibility settings if they're not accessible, right? So that was really surprising to me, and it's just the representation is seamless. There's gay people, just gay characters just randomly on the streets. You just do a side quest and she makes a mention of having a wife, or Nate. There's no emphasis on her being African, but you get to hear about the Wagadoo and the school and her heritage, and obviously she has a very distinct accent. And there's not a Slytherin is bad, Gryffindor is good, you are poo, Hufflepuff is poo. No, it really shows appreciation to all four of the houses, and even distinguishes between the four of them by giving you your own special quest depending on what house you are in. It's actually very well done in that sense. Like, yes, there's the colors, but also you get a little something special that only you get to see. Well, until people replay the game 4 times just to see. And I really liked how the spells were done. Like, each of the spells felt unique, and I know there's like 100 spells that they're missing, but I think for the ones that they included, it really distinguished themselves between the others. I know people are kind of disappointed that there's no Patronus, but I think it makes sense because there's not really a reason to have a Patronus right now, because there's no Dementors in the game. I think that could possibly be something that's added, but I think the problem is the Patronuses are too complex, right? Because a Patronus will need to have forms for everyone, and you could just sync it to like the wizard wizarding world, but the problem is not everyone has done that, and how would you go about choosing a Patronus in a game where a Patronus isn't really supposed to be chosen? I mean, I know you get to customize your wand and you choose your house and everything, but the Patronus, there's just too many options that could be possible. I think that's really the reason. Unless they just don't do the forms and they just do like the little shield thing, but then it wouldn't really be the Patronus, would it? So, like, I feel like the reason why the Patronus isn't there is just too complicated to include. There's too much of a what if this, what if that, and it just isn't viable. I think overall the story is just really good. From the side quests to the main story, it really delivers. Even the main story delivers, although again, it's not really the most important part of the game. I mean, for some people it is, but it really is just about exploring the world and just seeing what it has to offer. The map is huge, and you don't really have to go to most of the map. So this game is really designed, yeah, you do the first playthrough, breeze by it, but it's really designed for you to play it again and really pay attention to the entire world, because it's just so full of different things. There's so many different puzzles. That's also another thing that didn't need to be added, but was like just good puzzles. From the like little doors and like the reveal thing, and having to do a little bit of math to figure out what the combo is, and then the chest with the little eyes that you have to like do like the invisibility spell on. Like, there's just and it doesn't tell you how to solve everything. You have to figure that out. You have to be a Ravenclaw and figure out how to solve the riddle. Otherwise, no one's gonna tell you. And I love that. I love puzzles where they don't just tell you how to solve it. You have to kind of just use context clues and figure it out yourself. There's nothing that says how to solve this like door thing. But if you look at it and you think, okay, well, the middle of this, it has to be the sum. And now, okay, what do the little symbols represent? Oh, it's like a little clock. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, and then you put the little numbers in and they all have to add up to the sum. It's a triangle, right? So, okay. So if the middle is supposed to be 5, and we have 2, and then there's 0, and well, we need 3, so we need to put the thing that equals 3. It's so great that there are things that some people won't be able to solve. some people feel really stupid because they can't solve the puzzle. They think they need more information. The information is actually all right there. You just have to think a little bit like a Ravenclaw. I'm just kidding. I do like the attention to the activities. All of the activities are very different. And there's the Summoner's Court, there's Cross Wands, there's so much stuff to do. The only thing that I'll say is that what I don't like is, I don't necessarily like that there's not really a repercussion for if you decide to use the dark arts or not. There's not really a difference. There's not really a payoff for it. I feel like the game ended right before we got to the point where it would have mattered. It's like there was this one moment in the main story where it felt like it was going to be a turning point, but then it wasn't. And I feel like it was almost there. But also the question is, okay, how would they have been able to do Hogwarts Legacy and allow you to get arrested and put into Azkaban and still have you somehow finish the game? Which I think is the problem, right? Because with the Unforgivable Curses, they're technically supposed to be forbidden, right? Which means that if you cast them, you're supposed to go to Azkaban. But how do you have... But then there would be no Hogwarts Legacy, because you would be in Azkaban. You would not be in Hogwarts anymore. You would get expelled, and then you would be in Azkaban. So, you wouldn't have Hogwarts Legacy. It would just be Azkaban, which is a whole nother place. I mean, sure, they could add, like, Azkaban DLC later. Sure. But it just wouldn't really work with the story. It's like, how do you... But why? And then it's like... Yeah. It just wouldn't... I don't think it could be implemented the way that... And maybe they thought about that. Maybe they're like, can we do a morality system? Not really. I mean, there's certainly things that they could have done to make it a little bit more consequential. Like, I don't know. I'm sure there's like a bunch of stuff they could have done, but they opted not to. But overall, I think this game deserves a 9 out of 10 because it was a really good game and there's not much to criticize for. So, yeah, that's what I would rate it as, and I hope you guys enjoyed the playthrough. If you haven't watched it already, there is a playlist dedicated to Hogwarts Legacy, so you can go watch it, see how you like it. And you can find your favorite moments. Most of them have timestamps, so you can find the exact moment that you want, or at least get an approximate time frame. And then I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe for more content. Follow me on Twitch. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, guys. It's been a blast to catch you guys next time. Bye.